Imagine a gang so powerful, so influential, that they controlled a city from the shadows. This was the reality of Birmingham in the late 19th century, under the iron fist of the Peaky Blinders. A group that emerged from the gritty back streets, they swiftly ascended to the top of Birmingham's criminal underworld. Their rise to power wasn't just a product of brute force, but a testament to their cunning and strategic acumen. The Peaky Blinders were more than a name. They were a symbol of fear. Their reputation preceded them, sending shivers down the spine of the public. The mere mention of their name was enough to instill a sense of dread. But this fear was their weapon, their shield, and their pathway to power. Their influence permeated every corner of the city, manipulating the strings of power from behind the scenes. The Peaky Blinders were not just a gang, they were a force to be reckoned with. But who were these Peaky Blinders? How did they come to rule the streets of Birmingham? The Peaky Blinders were more than just a gang. They were a force to be reckoned with. They emerged in the late 19th century, in the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution. Birmingham, their birthplace, was a city of smoke and steel, a perfect breeding ground for the cutthroat survival instincts that defined the gang. The origins of the gang's name are shrouded in myth. Some say it's derived from their infamous practice of sewing razor blades into the peaks of their flat caps, a weapon of choice in street fights. However, it's more likely that peaky referred to the peaked caps they wore, and blinders was local slang for dapper dressers. Their rise to power was no accident. It was a calculated climb, orchestrated by their cunning leadership. The gang was led by a man of unyielding resolve, a man who understood the streets and the people who walked them. He was a mastermind who was as ruthless as he was strategic. The gang's criminal activities were diverse. From illegal betting and racketeering to robbery and violence, the Peaky Blinders were feared and respected in equal measure. They ruled the streets with an iron fist, and their reputation preceded them wherever they went. But it wasn't just brute force that set the Peaky Blinders apart. They were also known for their strategic alliances. They formed partnerships with other gangs and influential figures, weaving a web of connections that extended their influence and power. These alliances were often cemented through marriage, creating a network of loyalty and mutual benefit. From the back streets of Birmingham, the Peaky Blinders rose to become one of the most formidable gangs in the city's history. They were a product of their time and circumstance, but their legacy has outlived the smoky streets and steel factories that birthed them. Their story is a testament to the power of ambition, strategy, and sheer force of will. It's a story that continues to captivate us, reminding us of the gritty realities of life in the underbelly of industrial England. The reign of the Peaky Blinders was not eternal, but their legacy lives on. Their empire began to crumble in the early 20th century as law enforcement grew stronger and the Blinders' influence waned. By the 1930s, the once formidable gang had disbanded, leaving behind a storied history of power, fear, and rebellion. Yet the echo of their rule still resonates in the streets of Birmingham. The lore of their existence, the tales of their audacious exploits, continue to lend a certain gritty charm to the city. Their legacy, intertwined with the industrial heritage of Birmingham, lives on, influencing the world of crime and gang culture. The Blinders' influence is felt far beyond their hometown too. The audacity of their operations, the boldness of their actions, have served as a blueprint for crime syndicates worldwide. They may not exist in the same form, but the spirit of the Peaky Blinders is still very much alive. The Peaky Blinders may be gone, but they are far from forgotten. From the streets of Birmingham to the silver screen, the Peaky Blinders have become a cultural phenomenon. Their tale, steeped in history and riddled with intrigue, has captured the imaginations of millions worldwide. The modern interpretation of the Peaky Blinders through the eponymous hit TV show has catapulted them into the annals of pop culture. The show's gritty storytelling and memorable characters have breathed new life into this chapter of history. Its influence is widespread, from fashion trends, with the iconic flat caps and waistcoats, to music, with soundtracks echoing the raw energy of the era. It has sparked global conversations about the socio-political landscape of early 20th century Britain. The show's critical acclaim and commercial success are testament to the enduring allure of the Peaky Blinders saga. The Peaky Blinders, once a gang of the streets, are now the stars of the screen,